All right, you overloaded owners, you founders, uh, you crazy entrepreneurs, people that started a venture all on your own because you had an idea. One thing I want to talk about today is you don't have to lose the client experience when you hire a distant assistant. So we'll talk about that more in today's episode. July 17th is World Day for International Justice. What the heck does that have to do with what we got going on here? Well, let me tell you. With this being the World Day for International Justice, a day that reminds us that lasting systems are built on principles, not personality. The strongest organizations are not the ones carried by a single person. They're the ones where responsibility is clear. Ownership is shared, and good decisions can happen even when the founder is not in the room. That idea extends beyond governments and institutions. It applies to you and your business. When every client, every decision, every approval, and every problem has to come through you, that's not a system. That's a dependency. And dependency eventually becomes the biggest bottleneck to growth. This should not rely on one person to keep everything moving. It should be built on clear ownership, trusted people, and repeatable systems that create consistency every single day. Today, we're talking about the first step toward making that possible, the first handoff. So let's go ahead and open up the desk. Welcome back to the Delegation Desk Show. This is the show for founders who built something real and are ready to stop being the reason it can't grow any further. I'm Jaime Jay, CEO and founder of Bottleneck Distant Assistants and the creator of the Delegation Intelligence category. Over the last 2 weeks, we covered a lot of ground. We admitted that you are the bottleneck. We figured out that holding on is a trust challenge, not a time challenge. And we learned that real trust comes from structure, not from finding that perfect person. So now you're sitting there thinking, fine, I get it. Where do I actually start? And that's the right question, because the way you make your first handoff sets the tone for everything else that comes afterwards. Do it well and delegation starts to feel safe. Do it wrong and confirm every fear you ever had. So today we're going to start in the right place, or in the place that scares founders most, I should say, and your clients. Let's see what's landed on the desk. Here's what landed on the desk this week. A founder told me he would delegate almost anything, but not client communication. That stayed with him, all of it, every email, every question, every check-in, because in his mind, he was the relationship. If a client heard from anyone but him, they would feel like they got handed off, demoted, passed to the B team. So he answered every message himself at night, on the weekends, from the bleachers, at his kid's game. And here's what is actually happening, or here's what happened. He thought he was protecting the client experience, but he was actually strangling it, because a founder who answers everything is a founder who answers slowly. Clients waited hours, sometimes days, not because they didn't matter, but because one human cannot be everywhere. The thing he believed made clients feel special was the exact thing making them wait. That's the trap of the first handoff. You guard the client experience so tightly that you become the reason it suffers. Let's transition and check out the candidate on the desk segment, because this is where they intersect. Today's candidate is an AI-Fluent Administrative Assistant with expertise in property management and business operations. And this role keeps the business organized behind the scenes so everything else can move forward. Because as operations grow, processes become more complex. Reports become more important, and leaders need someone who can keep everything aligned. This candidate helps make that happen. She has an experience in administrative and executive support. Andrea is property management and financial operations expert, reporting and process documentation, project coordination and workflow optimization, and overall business operations support. The tools she uses include Yardi, Voyager, QuickBooks, HubSpot, Salesforce, GHL, Trello, Asana, Monday.com, Microsoft Office 365, Google Workspace, ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. But here's what stood out. This candidate understands that administration is not just about keeping records. It's about creating efficiency, because every organized report improves decision-making. Every documented process creates consistency, and every optimized workflow allows teams to accomplish more with less effort. And what makes this candidate valuable is her ability to combine operational support with process improvement across multiple business functions. She understands how to coordinate projects, how to maintain accurate documentation, and how to keep operations running smoothly, even in fast-paced environments. That matters more than business owners realize, because strong administrative support doesn't simply keep businesses organized, it creates the structure that allows businesses to grow with confidence. Let's go ahead and move that file to the completed task and check out the delegation download segment, where we talk about the main idea for this episode. Let me give you a simple way to make your first handoff the right one. Most founders pick wrong. They hand off something random, something that still loops back to them, something that creates more questions than it removes. Then they decide delegation doesn't work. Here's how to pick well, or pick right. Your first handoff should have three things. First, it should be high frequency, something that happens over and over, every day or every week. That way, the structure gets tested fast and the relief shows up fast. Second, it should be low risk to start, something where a small stumble will not blow up a client relationship while the system gets dialed in. And third, it should be administrative, not strategic. Routine client communication is perfect. Tracking inquiries, sending follow-ups, answering common questions, keeping records clean. Client support checks all three boxes. So here is how to run the handoff itself. Don't just throw it over the wall. Document how you respond, the tone, the common questions, the answers you give again and again, what you escalate and what you handle. Then introduce the representative to your clients as part of your team, not a replacement, a reinforcement. You can say it plainly. I've brought someone on so you can get faster support and nothing falls through the cracks. Clients do not hear demotion. They hear, this company is growing and they take care of me. That's the move. You didn't pull back from your clients. You gave them more. This is a great time to transition to the next segment, the category corner. I'm going to go ahead and frame this the way I see it. Most founders treat client communication as something only they can do. So they hoard it, they protect it, they wear the exhaustion like a bag. And the client experience quietly gets worse because one person can't scale. The thing they're missing is not effort, it's structure. A delegation department led by a trained, dedicated distant assistant with client care built right into it. When client support lives in a structure instead of on the founder's shoulder, the experience gets faster, steadier, and more reliable. Not because the founder cares less, because the founder finally built something that can carry the care. Most companies never do this. They keep the founders as the face of every conversation until the founder burns out or until the clients drift away. Bottleneck does something different, radically different. We do not pull you away from your clients. We build the structure that lets your clients feel cared for, whether you're at your desk or out living your life. That's not better than answering every message yourself. That is a different model entirely. It's the difference between being the relationship and building a business that can hold the relationship. Your clients don't need all of you. They need to feel taken care of. Build the structure that delivers that, and you stop being the bottleneck in your own client experience. Now, since we know this, let's see what's coming across the desk. It's kind of hard to imagine, but next week is the last day of July, which means half the year's already gone. Unbelievable. And next week, we're going to talk about that. Because most founders will end this year exactly where they started. Same chaos, same overwhelm, same business that cannot run without them. Not because they didn't work hard, because nothing structural ever changed. Next week, we talk about how to make the second half of your year different from the first, how to use the structure we've been building all month to finish strong instead of just surviving to December. If you feel like this year is slipping by and you're running just as hard with not much to show for it, that episode's for you. Don't miss it. Let's go ahead and clear the desk. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. The first handoff is not about giving up your clients. It's about giving them something you alone could never deliver: speed, consistency, care that does not depend on whether you happen to see the message. You're not stepping away from the relationship. You're building something strong enough to hold it. Just like a parent does. You do the work so the thing you built can stand without you holding it up every single minute. That is what a delegation department makes possible: a structure that delivers a steady experience, a founder who can finally be at the game instead of in the inbox. We built a free assessment called the Delegation IQ Blueprint, which we're now referring to as the Bottleneck Finder, where it helps you find your bottlenecks. It shows you exactly where your business depends on you too heavily and what it would take to start changing that. You'll find the link below. And if this episode landed, subscribe. And if your clients are waiting on you more than they should be, take the assessment. And remember this: the best thing you can build is something that doesn't need you to survive. That's not losing a relationship. That's raising it right. Build a department, clear the chaos. Now, I'm going to hand it over to our wonderful and amazing producer, Jeff, who's going to bring us home for this episode. And I'll see you next week, same desk, same time.
Hi there again, everyone. And again, thank you so much for always staying until this part of the episode, because this makes me happy every time. So, just like our topic for today, just like Jamie mentioned. So, in this episode, I remembered something, because one thing that we removed from my previous client before is he's afraid to delegate me talking to the clients, because of course their clients, I don't know how he speaks, or I don't know his strategy in talking to those clients. So for me, I know that feeling that the client is still hesitant to hand off that to me. But then came a time that he's away, he's an emergency, and I need to respond to the emails. I need to make sure that the clients are updated. So I put my best foot forward. I make sure that I'm confident enough. I responded. And that time, my client got that trust that he can delegate that to me. So from then, I'm the one who's talking to the clients, giving them instructions, making sure that they send out all the information that we need, because we're doing a podcast that time. And it's almost same as the Delegation Desk Show, wherein I manage everything. I talk to the clients, the guests, making sure that all images that they want or they need for we need for the podcast, or any graphics or any content that they'll be talking about, everything is clear and handed off to me before the start of the podcast. So my client became really confident that I did that. So for months that I'm doing that, he got the time to meet with his parents. He got a family time. He got back to playing with his kids because he knows that there's someone who's handling those emails. Someone's responding to those clients that needs time. So these clients are updated. They know their time. They know when their episodes comes up, and they know that these episodes will be out on the schedule set for that podcast. So I know that because I always hear that from my client. Like every meeting that we did for those episodes, he always say that I'm doing a good job. Because for me, it's just my task, but it's really a good thing for me that he's saying that because it makes me motivated, to do better day by day. So yeah, just if you're if you think that you want that, giving back those time to your family and to yourself, make sure to follow us in our social media pages in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and of course, YouTube. And never ever forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so that you'll be updated with our next episodes. And of course, in our next episodes, we'll give more, fruitful information about, the delegation intelligence and delegation department. And of course, our distant assistants that can handle, and give you back your life for, for a few hours or days that you need vacation and all that. So my question for this episodes is, how many client conversations still depend on you personally, and you are afraid to delegate that to an assistant or anyone that you wanted to work with? And if you stepped away for a few days, just like what I mentioned, you wanted to meet your mother, your parents, and you wanted to play with your kids and have a vacation, or just alone time with yourself, would your clients still receive the same level of care and communication just like my client had before? So drop your answers in the comments down below. So we love to hear those comments. We love to read those comments from you and how it can help your business if in case you're experiencing the same chaos in your company, that you're still handling everything. And if you're ready to build a business where your clients are supported by system, not just by you, visit bottleneck.online/let's-talk, or click the link on your screen or on the description down below. Every link for our social media pages are there. And of course, the link to our to book a call with us, it's there in the description down below. So click on that so we can be sure that we'll give you all the details on what a distant assistant can help you on a daily basis. So again, see you next week. Same desk, same time. Have a great day. Bye for now.